Hey, what's up, world? Welcome to Season 3 of Snack Size, the podcast that will drag you into your most fabulous life. It's a brand new year, and it's a great time to live the life of your dreams. You've got to do you, because no one else can. And no matter what your happy and fulfilled life looks like, I want to help you get there. Our time together starts now. Hey, Snacks. Welcome back to Snack Size, the podcast that will drag you into your most fabulous life. Speaking of fabulous, our guest today is the absolute definition of the word. He is a singer, an actor, dancer, and one of the biggest personalities I've ever had on the show. His new album, Daydream, is a fun, top 40 ear candy type album, while simultaneously exploring many of his personal life challenges. He says that all of the songs are windows into very personal experiences, but I don't tell them in a sad way. This album expresses how even at my worst points, I managed to hold on to the hope that this day would come when I can finally chase my dreams on my own terms. He experienced a rough childhood. His father was a workaholic who was never home, and when he was emotionally unavailable. His mother was mentally, physically, and emotionally abusive. Last year, he was diagnosed with hyperdiabetes. Through exercise and dieting, he has lost the weight and, as he declares, beat the beaties. In fact, he's the healthiest he's ever been. Here to discuss his life, his struggles, his triumphs, and most importantly, his music. Welcome to Snack Size, Joshua Randall Price. Let's give him a call. Hi, JR. Welcome to Snack Size.
Hello. Thank you, Lala. Thank you for having me. I'm ready to be dragged into my most fabulous life.
I am so excited to have you because you do so much. Oh, my goodness. Like, you're an actor, a singer, choreographer. I don't want to speak for you, so why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about you and all the things that you do?
Gosh, you're right. I do so much. When you list it out like that, it does sound like a lot, doesn't it? Yeah, I recently moved to Nashville, Tennessee from New York City. I have a degree in musical theater with emphasis on musical theater in both theater and vocal performance. So I'm all over the board. Basically anything that you get paid and you live out of a box to do, I'm qualified to do that.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm qualified to be super poor for the rest of my life. And I love it. I love everything about it. So I do write my own songs. I have been working on an album for 2 years with a lot of different producers. The album has officially 2 producers on it, Freddie Freeman and Theora Wise. And we created something really beautiful together, and I can't wait for people to hear it.
So how are you liking Nashville so far compared to New York?
Well, I'm still in pandemic crisis mode, so I haven't really left my house other than I have signed up for a gym membership because health is important. So I go and I wear my mask and stay away from everyone as much as I possibly can. But other than going to the gym, I really haven't done anything yet. I just moved here on the 1st of the year. So everything's still new. I'm waiting to get acclimated.
So tell us about your new album, Daydream.
Yeah, Daydream for me is kind of like a diary. Every song that I've written on the album is about a personal experience I have been through throughout my entire life. There are songs on it about my family and the way they treated me. There are songs about like the breakups I've been through. There are songs about my body image issues. There are songs about my sexuality. There are songs about loving myself. There are songs about my mental health. Basically every single song overcomes some sort of obstacle that I have went through in my life, and it puts a positive spin on it. Because at the end of the day, I believe that what a daydream is a moment where you're having hope for a better future. So I like to put a positive spin on every heartbreak I've been through. And that's what the album does. It puts a positive spin on everything.
That sounds like very comprehensive of a person that's lived a lot of life.
Oh,
do you
girl.
have like a favorite track?
Oh, girl, I have lived a life. Yeah, I've lived a lot of life. My favorite track though, gosh, it's so hard because every single song is like, I actually wrote it. Like it's from me. So I'm really biased. I mean, Daydream, the title track is such a bop. Body Positive is a bop. But like I have like country influence songs. I have vintage songs. Of course, my song with Tom Goss is like a dream come true. Like, can't even believe that happened. I love every song. I'm sorry, Lala, I can't answer that. They're all beautiful. Listen to the whole thing.
I get it. I totally get it. So you have your duet with Tom Goss. Is that the only duet on the album?
No, I actually have another duet on the album with my producer, who is now Fiora, but at the time was Feathers Wise. So it's called It's Not Me, It's You. And it's about like, you know how people in a breakup, they're always like, oh, you know, it's not you, it's me. Like, I'm going through stuff. No, like, this is like you break up and it's like, you're right. It is you. You're the problem. It's very much a like the breakup song.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell us about working with both of those people.
Gosh, I love duets. I just love working with other people and collaborating and creating something beautiful together. And the songs are so different because the song with Feathers is a breakup song. So I got to be like fierce and amazing and like angry. And when I work with Feathers, it's so transcended from reality. Like we just talk to each other in melodic fairy dust. Like normal people can't even understand. We'll just like look at each other and we'll just know the melody that we're both thinking. So like working with her is just brilliant, and I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. But then also working with Tom Goss, he was like a hero of mine when I was little. And his video, I don't know if you've seen it, but he has a music video called Bears, and it has like all these like plus size men dancing around in like bathing suits and being sexy. And it really inspired me. And without seeing that video, I never would have even tried to be a pop star or pursue this music career, and let alone have my debut music video be Body Positive, where I'm dancing in my underwear. Him being on my album is just kind of like, it's like starstruck. It's like he's the Madonna to my Britney or the Gaga to my Ari.
I love a good full circle moment.
Yeah.
It seems like you found a lot of power by identifying with the bear community. Talk to us about that.
Yeah. So I think that what I love about the bear community is that it's a brotherhood, right? It feels like we're all in this together. I do think that, you know, every subsidiary of the gay community is going to have, you know, their different categories of people who are sassy and saying bad things to you. But I think with the bears, we all understand each other and we get each other on a deeper level because we know the struggles that we've been through. And I think everybody's been through something very similar with our body image. And I think that I can relate to those people. And I have people who will look at me and tell me I'm beautiful and really mean it. I think it's hard because I don't want to say that like, you know, twinks or skinny gays or anybody like doesn't get what it's like to be a bear. But I will say that the brotherhood I have formed with some amazing bears, including my producer, Freddie Freeman, has just been so monumentally life-changing to me and has made me proud of my body. And while all gay people in the Alphabet Mafia...
The Alphabet Mafia.
Yes, the Alphabet Mafia,
That's great.
While all members of the Alphabet Mafia are a family, I do feel like the bears are kind of like the older brother of the family, right?
How did you feel before you found that side of yourself?
Just so isolated. I was very detrimental. I think growing up where I didn't have the bears and I didn't have examples of like, I can own who I am, I went to very dark places. I was suicidal. I had body dysmorphia. You know, I hated myself for my sexuality because I didn't fit in with my family. I, you know, was afraid to sing or dance. Like I didn't have any confidence. I didn't have any friends. And I think that when I finally found the bear community, I found my place in the world, which is why I fight for it so hard.
In terms of body positivity, I know you have a song about it, but what does that mean for you today as opposed to where you came from?
Oh my gosh. So the word body positivity changes for me daily, I think, because when I wrote the song, I was 389 pounds. And that was before I was diagnosed with hyperdiabetes. And I know that you have talked about having diabetes. I listened to your podcast with Stacey McDonald.
Stacey
McDonald.
Yes.
And, you know, I was fortunate enough that unlike Stacey, when I went to the doctor, they were very supportive. So I got a team of endocrinologists who gave me like the right diet for me. And they checked in with me every week and I had meetings with them. They set me up with free healthcare. They put me on all the right meds, and I actually got to beat diabetes within 6 months. I've lost 155 pounds and still counting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
congratulations.
it's, really hard. It's also hard to hear congratulations, ironically, because I feel like it's something that like I shouldn't be congratulated for. It's something I should have been doing. I should have been taking care of myself, but it's hard, especially when I'm an emotional eater. So every time I have a heartbreak, I like just go for the donuts. I go for the cheesecake. And so just telling yourself that like, no, like this is only a fleeting moment. Like you don't need food. Like it's an everyday battle. But I will say that body positive to me today is about health, because at the end of the day, like if you're truly positive about your body, then you're treating it like the temple it is. And you're not going to put something in your temple that's going to burn it down. So you want to stay healthy and stay motivated, because at the end of the day, I'm a work of art. And I'm going to treat my paint like I'm Michelangelo. Okay. Yeah.
If you had to think of a reason why you ignored your health for so long, what would it be, and how have you changed that in your life?
I think a lot of it wasn't that I was ignoring it. I was unaware, because even at my biggest, like I could still do cartwheels and toe touches, and, I'm a dancer, I'm a performer, and I was still performing, 3-hour shows and getting nominated for awards and doing my costume changes. And, I never looked at myself as handicapped by my size, which is why I wrote Body Positive from that viewpoint, because I was like, my size doesn't matter. Like I can do all of these things. So I was always capable of doing everything. So it wasn't that I was ignoring my health. It was that I was just blatantly oblivious to what was going on, because I didn't have any repercussions. Like I didn't know I didn't have any signs. Like I wasn't aware. It wasn't that I was ignoring it. So I was like, I thought I was completely healthy. I just thought I was a big girl,
No, I get it. Honestly, that's so similar to what I thought. And a lot of people looked at me and they were like, you didn't know any time. And I was like, I didn't feel like I wasn't living the life I wanted to because of my size, Right. So
exactly. Like, I mean, when you look at your friends who are bigger and they're like, they can't walk a block because they're breathing too heavy. And, I'm doing cartwheels. Like, I'm like, clearly I'm fine. Like, but no, you're not.
Right. Aside from eating, what's been the biggest change within you as a person?
Honestly, my outlook on life. Since I was diagnosed, I've been through, even more terrible things than that disease. And every single time I'm like, no, I lived through this. I can live through this too. And I look at the good moments and I really cherish them. Like being on your podcast, like this is a big moment for me. And it makes me so happy. And I let this happiness carry me through those dark times, because, they're going to come. Everybody has setbacks. Everybody has heartbreaks. And I've had some really bad things happen to me, but you have to let the joy be greater. You have to let happiness beat sadness. You just have to.
That is so beautiful. And I really like what you said about letting the happiness in, because I believe that that is where you really start to allow your dreams come true. And you seem to have done that several times over in several different fields. So I guess, which was your first love? Like, was it acting? Was it singing?
God, I mean, I fell in love with everything all at once. I just love storytelling, like I love making people feel something. I love connecting with other people, because I don't think I have another way to do that. I don't think people really appreciate me unless if I'm making them feel something. So any way that I can do that is definitely going to be something I look to do.
If you had advice for your younger self now, what would some things be that you wish?
Gosh, I would just look at myself and I'd be like, baby, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. This isn't the end. This is the prologue. Like, this is not it. Like, all this heartbreak, all the pain, the detrimental things that your mother does to you, the way your father treats you, the way your sister judges you, the way your other sister backstabs you, the way the bullies at school torment you daily. All of that is making you the strongest version of yourself. All of that is making you me.
I actually, before we did this interview, I listened to your radio interview, and you had mentioned that 2 relationships that kind of ended badly.
Just 2? That's all I mentioned?
Talk about how you handled those breakups. Can
we could say breakups. We could say, bad relationships. We could say it all. I am not the luckiest when it comes to men. That's for sure. I was in a serious relationship at one point in time. We were talking about marriage, and I come home from work and he was gone, all of his things. And there was a note on my pillow, a Post-it. Yes, he Sex and the City'd me. And it said, I hope we can be friends. Love, his name. Love was marked out and friends was misspelled. Oh yeah.
No.
Like, not even correct grammar, girl. Like, it was bad. One of the songs on my album is actually about him. It's called Gone Like the Wind. But, I didn't know what to do. I was in love with this person, and he had left me for, someone who was older than me, who had 4 kids. And I was like devastated. I was 19, I was lost to the world. And, I was like, I'm never going to love again. And that wasn't even my only heartbreak. I've been in other relationships and no one appreciates me. And I love so fully. I'm an artist, I'm passionate, every single time I always think, one day it's going to get better, because I'm the eternal optimist. I mean, that's what Daydream is about, but it hasn't happened yet. And, maybe in Nashville I can find me a cowboy and maybe he'll have some good values. But, right now I'm just living for fun because that's all I'm getting.
I get it. Out of all this badness, what have you learned about yourself and what you eventually want?
Well, I think that I've learned that I need somebody who loves my music. At the end of the day, you have to love me for me, and music is, 95% of who I am. To quote the Cheetah Girls, if you can't respect my art, you can't have my heart.
In this press release that I have, which is the very first thing that I read about you from Project Publicity, you said that you are learning that all of the pain you have been through on this earth is meant for something. What is something to you now, and what is something to you going to be in the future?
I think that right now, the something that all of the pain I went through is for is the people that reach out to me. I have people who are in Brazil, and they message me and they tell me that they're throwing these body positive pool parties and they want to play my song, and that my song is giving them confidence. And I have little girls on TikTok making videos of them showing their camp looks because they feel body positive and they're dancing to my song. It's just fascinating to me that people are actually listening to my music, and that it took all of those eating disorders, all of those times that somebody called me fat, all of the times that people gave me looks, or all the times I got rejected at sex parties, to make that little girl feel confident about her camp look. That's powerful, right?
It's really powerful.
I was crying.
It really is.
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
And, I think that that's always going to be the answer. In the future, I always want to know that whatever heartbreak that made me feel like I had to end everything, that I put into music or into some sort of art project, and it makes somebody go, no, I'm not alone. I can do more.
That made me feel so much better about a lot of stuff I've been through, because I'm sure as plus size members of the Alphabet Mafia, that it's certainly a struggle, and I never understood why. But when you do have those moments that people look up to you and draw inspiration from you, it sort of pays those bad moments off. So I appreciate that you can look with all your success and look at that and still appreciate it.
Absolutely. I think that at the end of the day, we're in the business of mending hearts, and we're in the business of making people fall in love with themselves and the world. And I think that just you being here and being so present and being so vivacious and fierce and dragging people to their most fabulous life, that's so inspiring, Lala. Never underestimate the power that you have within yourself, because just the fact that you're here and speaking on a podcast is something that there's some little drag queen in a field somewhere dreaming of doing that.
Yeah. And even if it's not drag, I mean, I hope that it's drag. I love drag, but I really think that there's something to be said that there's so many different ways to live a happy and fulfilled life. And I want people to think outside the box. And that's kind of why I'm putting myself out there as a drag queen, because, you know, between us girls, I mean,
Exclusive.
Snacks, this is exclusive. Surprise. I'm never actually in drag when I record these. So really. I never am. Like, I have all these beautiful promo photos. The snacks are shook right now. I'm sure.
Shook. Forget the snacks. I feel like we're at the end of a Scooby-Doo episode, you know, and it's like those meddling kids.
But I think that what it's allowed me to do is really offer the insight without being in like the drag mode.
Right, absolutely.
Because drag is a character.
To an extent, J.R. Price is a character, so I totally understand.
So I'm able to sort of introspectively step away and able to relate what I do to other people. And I don't really think I could do that if I was dressed up in drag. But my bigger point is that it doesn't matter what you're doing. The point of my podcast really is that you just need to love what you do, you know, and that's really what's going to propel you forward in so many different areas of your life. Okay. So what do you feel is the secret to a happy and fulfilled life?
Man, to just be 100% deeply, authentically you. I think that if you put any mask on yourself, you're just going to suffocate. You have to be vulnerable. You have to reveal who you are. Every day you're chiseling away a piece of the statue. You're creating that work of art for the world to see. And you should never for 1 second be ashamed of any crack in the marble.
Yes. You are definitely a songwriter.
I try.
In case nobody on this episode got enough JR, I am quite sure that they want
so
more.
You can check out my website at jrprice.org, or you can follow me on IG at Joshua Randall Price. I am on Facebook at jrpricepop. And I'm on TikTok at jrpriceless. And yeah, but all of the info is on my website, jrprice.org.
All right, JR, thank you so much for coming to Snack Size. And Snacks, until next time, go be fabulous. Hey, Snack, thanks for hanging out with me and listening to this episode. You can get into every episode over at www.snacksizepodcast.com. And don't forget to register for my email list so I can keep you in the loop about new episodes, sneak peeks, giveaways, and more. That's www.snacksizepodcast.com. Until next time, see you later, Snack.